Hi guys, welcome to Adam McKola TV. I'm Adam. This is the preview for the final game at White Hart Lane. Yes, it's Tottenham against Manchester United. How are you guys doing? Hope you're doing well. I can see all your comments. Gohar, Lennon, Brad, Habib, Jose. Thank you all for getting involved in the comments below. And now we'll get him stuck in to this Tottenham preview. I hope you guys are looking forward to the game, because I'll be honest, I'm not looking forward to it much. Now there's a part of me that thinks, look, Tottenham are Tottenham. Remember the old saying, Fergie said it, it's only Tottenham, why do you have to worry? And the truth is, they're a very, very good side. A very good side. But they have that tendency to crumble. And now that the league is over, Chelsea are champions, congratulations to them. Now that the league is over and Manchester United are going to White Hart Lane on the final game there ever in the league, I think it's the final game there ever as well. I don't think they're going to have an end of season friendly or anything like that. So in this current White Hart Lane, the final game ever, and I feel the occasion could get to Tottenham Hotspur. But then I've seen someone in the comments says Harry Kane's getting a hat-trick. And then I can see things like that as well, because Tottenham are very, very good. Now, Tony Wong says today's results were shit. They were shit. Arsenal won, City won. But to be honest, I'm not arsed. I haven't been looking at those results because I know that top four's over for United. It's not happening. It's done. Now, I kind of hope Arsenal still miss out, although it would be funny to see Liverpool drop out of it, given that they've been in it all season, and Arsene Wenger gets his usual fourth spot trophy and signs on and stays at Arsenal. That'd be hilarious too. But it'd be funny to see Arsenal in the Europa League after what all their fans have been saying. I'd love to see them in the Europa League. If we win it and we're in the Champions League, they're in the Europa League with that Thursday, Sunday stuff, they will crumble. So the top four race, United aren't involved. That's kind of embarrassing. But given the way the Europa League has affected our season, it's not that bad. Because if we win the Europa League, I don't care whether we finish second, third, fourth, fifth if we don't win the league. The only reason you want to finish in the top four is so that United are in the Champions League. Now, if we're in the Champions League next season and we've won the Europa League, a trophy we've never won, I'd rather that happen. But, yeah, it is embarrassing that we're not in that top four. But it just goes to show the effect that Europa League can have on your squad. So we need to make sure we're not in that competition next season. Jacob's watching from Los Angeles. Thank you for getting involved, mate. Alex is talking about Stockholm. I'm booked up for Stockholm. I'm flying there via Germany. I'm going there the morning of the game, getting back the early hours of the Thursday because I've got a flight to Portugal which I've got to catch on the Friday early, so I need to be home to get ready for that. So I've got loads of flights that week, but I'm going to Stockholm. I've applied for my ticket via the ballot. Will I get it? I'm not confident I'll get a ticket in the ballot, but I'll be in Stockholm either way. I'll be there. So yeah, we're talking about the Spurs game now. We'll look ahead to that Ajax game very, very soon. When the Ajax game is the next game, I presume. But anyway, we're talking about the final game at White Hart Lane now. Not only are we going to talk about the game ahead tomorrow, we're also going to talk about our favourite memories of that ground. Now, my favourite memory of the White Hart Lane ground is obviously going to be the victory. I think it was 2001, 2000. United came from behind. 3-0 down we were at half-time, and United came from behind, and we got up front 5-3 in the end. Varane, Beckham, Cole, Van Nistelrooy scoring. It was a great day there. I wasn't there personally, but what a day at White Hart Lane that was for Manchester United. And then more recently, I think about 4-0 to Manchester United there. John O'Shea goes in goal, keeps a clean sheet. Ronaldo, Giggs, goal scoring. So those are two that spring out to me firstly. But what do you guys think? What is your favourite memories of United at White Hart Lane? Going into this game, though, we also want to know what you're thinking about United's team. Do we rest players ahead of that final? Or, because we've got the final, which is still 3 games away, we've still got to go Southampton away, which is an opportunity to rest players. We've still got Crystal Palace at home, will be an opportunity to rest players. And that game comes 3 days before the final. So I don't think Manchester United will rest players against Tottenham. Now, Christopher says his most memorable moment is Nani's goal against Tottenham. Is it the one you're on about? I think it was our first victory of that season in the 08 season, where we scored. That was at Old Trafford. That wasn't at White Hart Lane. McKola Groot says Mata to start against Tottenham. He is in my predicted 11, but we will speak about that a little bit later. Sam Nevis says John O'Shea in goals, one of his favourite memories. I say we rest Smalling, don't even risk it, says Janan on Toast. What a name. Rest Pogba, Herrera, Rashford and Mkhitaryan, says Footy Prof. Now, there was news coming out yesterday that Paul Pogba's father had passed away. And first of all, some of these accounts on Twitter need to have a day off, talking about apparently his father's passed away and all that. The news came out that his father had passed away and people were there looking for retweets. But anyway, Paul Pogba's father's passed away, so it's unlikely Pogba will travel with the squad, although there's no confirmation about that yet. So Paul Pogba may be given the game off anyway, so he may be rested because of that. But obviously, it's not the circumstances you want it to be. And the thoughts are with, obviously, his family, his brothers, his mum, etc., etc. APB says, come on, pro, after. I am on it tonight, actually. I'll be up for that. By the way, make sure, yeah, you guys don't play any games without me. Who's on it tonight? Guys, by the way, yeah, once I've finished my FIFA career mode, you guys have been asking where the FIFA video was. Now, the reason I didn't do a FIFA video this Friday was partly because I was ill on Friday, following that game against Celta Vigo. Now, I was ill all last week. I thought I recovered. Thursday night, I get ill again. So, Friday, I couldn't do it. But also, I wanted it to coincide with the end of the season. So, we'll have my final game of the FIFA career mode next week ahead of that Crystal Palace game. So, it kind of all goes together, yeah? So, that will be up then. But yeah, talking about this, no Pogba, that's likely to be the case, given what's happened with his father. And no one can blame Jose or Paul Pogba for making that decision. He needs to be with his family at a time like this. No Fellaini, who's still suspended. Eric Bailly, who's suspended for the Europa League final. He's bound to start, isn't he? He's bound to start tonight, this game against Tottenham Hotspur, given that he's not going to be needed for the Europa League final. He doesn't need that rest. And then Romero, who Jose Mourinho has said will start in the Europa League final, obviously if he doesn't get injured or anything like that. Romero will start in the final, so it's likely David De Gea will come in and see the rest of the season out in goal, in between the sticks for Manchester United. Could it be his last couple of games for United as well? And could it be Wayne Rooney's last couple of games for United as well? Was that game against Celta Vigo Wayne Rooney's second to last game at Old Trafford for Manchester United? It was something I said to my dad, because my dad can't make the game against Crystal Palace. My dad can't make that game against Crystal Palace. He was with me at the game against Celta Vigo. And I said to him, this might be the last time you see Wayne Rooney in a United shirt. And he agreed, although Wayne Rooney should be playing in the Carrick testimonial. So we'll probably see him in a United shirt again. But yeah, Wayne Rooney could be the last couple of times we've seen him in a United shirt, guys. And you need to start getting your head around this, because I don't think Wayne Rooney's going to be here next season. And I'll be more surprised to see him playing with that United badge on his chest next season than I would to see him moving. I think he's moving. I think that's likely to happen. Does Jose bring the youngsters in for this game? What do you guys think about that? Now, the team that I've picked for this game against Tottenham Hotspur is giving some players a rest, is giving some players an opportunity. It's using a few players that are definitely likely to start in the Europa League final. Touch wood, no injuries are picked up in this game against Spurs. But I don't think we need to rest players yet. We've got Southampton and we've got Crystal Palace. You don't want your players resting up for 2 weeks before a final. So you need to be starting some of these players. Harry says Martial to start. And I agree with you, Harry, because he's in my 11. Now, my 11 is David De Gea in goal, Valencia, Twanzebe, Eric Bailly and Matteo Darmian. Carrick, Herrera, because there's no Fellaini, no Pogba, remember. Likely to be no Pogba, although it's not confirmed. Mata, Rooney, Martial and Marcus Rashford. So Marcus Rashford, Valencia, Herrera, players that are going to be key for Manchester United in the final are in my team. Darmian's likely to be key for that final as well, because him and Blind are the only ones that can play at left back. And if Blind is going to be needed at centre half, then, you know, Darmian, that's why I've kept Darmian there, because I want him to get game time, get a run of games in the team and keep him in that side. No Pogba, no chance against Spurs, says Hunter. It is likely to be the case because, I mean, Paul Pogba's influence to Manchester United has been clear as day when he has started. He's been excellent for Manchester United, and we need him to continue in that vein. But if he's not playing tomorrow, we're going to miss him. And it leaves a big gap in that midfield area. Obviously, Carrick, Herrera, they're very good midfielders. Fellaini, he's okay. These guys are all right. But Pogba, what he does with the ball, bringing it from defence to attack, bringing it out from the defence to the midfield, receiving it from the defence, turning and going. We saw that mad flick trick, all that headers and shit that he was doing the other day. He can do that kind of stuff to get the ball out and start playing it, start getting people going, allowing Mkhitaryan to run, Rashford to run, Lingard to run, Marshall to run, whoever. He allows these guys to free their legs up and get into space. And when he turns on the ball, he's so dangerous for Man United. And he's a very vital player for us, and we'll miss him if he's not there tomorrow. So let me just get onto the Manchester United website. Team news for Sunday. Right then, the team news for Sunday. Mourinho confirms Romero is set to retain his place and David De Gea looks certain to keep in goal. That's correct. As Bailey should start as well, as is to miss the final through suspension. I said both those things. Axel Tuanzebe is likely to come back into the reckoning, and Juan Mata is an option in the midfield. So those are 4 players actually that are in my starting lineup. As for you guys, where's the travelling squad? Who's seen that travelling squad? Who's seen it? Let me have a look. Right. Nope, it's not there. Just having a look for the travelling squad. I'm going to read some of your questions in a second. Zishan says Memphis starting. Forget Memphis. Imagine if we still had Schneiderlin. He'd be getting game time now, you know. It's the sad truth. Should have kept him. Faraz, we have covered the Pogba issue in regards to him not starting. Right. MEN seem to have, so thank you to the MEN for this, but they seem to have the travelling squad. So let's have a look. Manchester United youngsters Matty Willock, Olasunde, Dimitri Mitchell have all been included in the travelling squad. Scott McTominay also headed down to the capital. In the pictures I can see Carrick, see Tuanzebe, Mitchell, can see Joel Pereira, another youngster. I can see Bailey, Mkhitaryan, Philip Jones, Tony Marshall, that's great to see. Wayne Rooney, David De Gea, Mata. There's no word about Valencia. Valencia isn't in Man United MEN's news though, so if he's not in that, then who would come in at right back? Maybe we'll see Tuanzebe at right back, Bailey and Jones at centre half, with Darmian at left back. Maybe that's the team we're going to see. Jose Fellaini says Fellaini is suspended. Yes, Fellaini is suspended and will miss this game, as will Paul Pogba. So let's say Valencia isn't travelling. I'll revise my team. I think it's going to be David De Gea. I think it's going to be Tuanzebe at right back, Darmian at left back. I think it's going to be Bailey and Jones. Then I think it will be Carrick, Herrera, Mata, Rooney, Marshall, and Marcus of Rashford up top. Dion says Valencia hasn't travelled, and yes, Valencia hasn't travelled. Rayan Jeff Rulers says don't vote Tory. That I agree with. Darmian at right back says Raf can crash. Yes, it could be Darmian at right back, but I think we'll see Tuanzebe at right back because we need Darmian for left back. Do you agree with that? Valencia and Pogba have not travelled with the squad to London. Sartak says yes. I've just read that out on Man United MEN. We've got almost 200 people in here at the moment, so thank you all for joining us. And as I said, we're looking ahead to that game against Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester United against Tottenham at White Hart Lane, the final game at White Hart Lane. It doesn't mean as much as it did for both clubs, given that Tottenham, they're out of the title race. Chelsea are now champions, fair play to them. And Manchester United are out of the race for the top four. So the game is meaningless for both teams. I'm sure Tottenham will want to win this game, given that it's the last game at White Hart Lane. But Tottenham, being Tottenham, and as Fergie said, it's only Tottenham, they may fuck up. They may be Spursy, as the adjective goes. And if they are Spursy, Manchester United could cause a shock. Because it is a shock. United are going to be resting players going into this game. We've got a hell of a lot of players injured as well. And going into the game without those players, we're not favourites in this game. Tottenham are a well-oiled machine, well prepared. They haven't got a lot of injuries and they've got their big players available. So they'll be causing problems for us. Their fans will be up for it tomorrow night. It's going to be like that game against West Ham last season, where it was their final game and it was, you know how it went. United were in front and then we lost. But hopefully we can gate crash their party there today, this weekend. Now my team is David De Gea, Twanzebe at right back, Darmian at left back, Bailey and Jones at centre half, Carrick Herrera, Matt Rooney, Marshall and Marcus Rashford. Now, who are the biggest threats from Tottenham? Well, that's obvious, isn't it? You're looking at Christian Eriksen, you're looking at Dele Alli, you're looking at Harry Kane. Dembele is a fantastic player as well in that midfield area. And they've got a fantastic defensive line with two decent fullbacks who get forward well. So Tottenham are a very, very good side. But one thing they do have against them is they probably would have ran out of a little bit of steam, given that the title race is now over. They're not really fighting for that. Top four is confirmed. They've got that, you know, that weight of pressure of having to win the last game at White Hart Lane. And playing against Manchester United is not easy at all, regardless of what kind of team we got coming out. Sometimes the badge can win the game on its own. As Ander Herrera said after the final of the EFL Cup, I love that phrase, by the way, as well. Son's another decent player as well. Hassan reminded me about that. He is a very, very good player. He does miss an awful lot of sitters, though. He misses an awful lot of sitters, but he's a very good player. Ryan Murphy says Eriksen is incredible. And he's my favourite of their players as well. If I could take one player from Spurs, it would be Eriksen or Ali. Although Harry Kane as well is quite good, isn't he? So one of those three. But Christian Eriksen for me is so underrated. He keeps them ticking. He's got a great eye for a pass. Sometimes you'd wish him to have a little bit of a nasty streak, but he's not that kind of player. Score goals, make goals, quality player. And they did very well to get him from Ajax. I remember when he played for Ajax and he came to Old Trafford and he absolutely dominated the midfield area. So it's going to be a hard game for Manchester United. I hope Ander Herrera puts one on Eric Dyer, the little prick. Can't stand that guy. And all the rumours linking him with Manchester United, please, please, no. I hope Anthony Martial starts because I believe he's always a problem. He's always a problem. And if we can play him to his strengths, play him to his fucking strengths. Get the ball in front of him. Get him the ball out wide. Let him run at defenders. Get him in behind him. Same goes for Rashford because we just don't play to their strengths sometimes. And we really need to start doing that. That's why we miss Pogba a lot because he plays to their strengths. And when he's not in the side, we really do miss him. And with him not being available tomorrow, with no Antonio Valencia tomorrow, we're lacking that little physical presence from the back as well. And we're lacking Paul Pogba's genius in the middle of the park. So it's going to be a tough game for Manchester United. If I had to predict it, and it was honest, it was an honest prediction, I'd say 2-0 to Spurs, to be totally honest with you. But part of me, and, you know, thinking about how Spurs are, just think about how Spurs are, United can get a result here. I'm confident of that. If we get a result, it doesn't really mean anything though, does it? Because it's all over at the moment for us in the league. Guys, we've got 200 of you in here at the moment. Now, recently on some of my videos, some snidey little bastards have been proper gate crashing that dislike button. So what I want all you legends to do, sometimes you might forget, because you're watching the video, you're having a little chat with us, you're getting your comments in, you might forget. So hit that like button, please, guys. Get your comments in as well. Subscribe, like, share. Get all your comments in. We'll keep the debate going for another 5 or 6 minutes and keep the chat going ahead of this game against Tottenham Hotspur. Any of you confident United are going to miss? Sumo Fish is back in the comments as well. Thank you for joining us again, Sumo Fish. You haven't missed, well, you've missed quite a lot. You've missed 20 minutes of the stream. But we have been talking about the game. Now, the news to come out ahead of the game is Valencia hasn't travelled. Paul Pogba hasn't travelled. Romero, who's likely to play in the final, will probably come out from being in between a stick. So we'll have David De Gea back in goal. McTominay, Dimitri Mitchell, Alasunde, Joel Pereira, they've all travelled with the side. No Marouane Fellaini, who's suspended. So my predicted team is David De Gea, Tuanzebe, Darmian, Bailey, Jones, Herrera, Carrick, Mata, Rooney, Marshall and Marcus Rashford. That's my predicted teams. Remember, Jose Mourinho has confirmed that the players are injured. Timothy Fosu-Mensah, Ashley Young, Zlatan, Marcus Rojo, Luke Shaw, they're all out for the rest of the season. So expect none of these players to return for Manchester United this season, which is really, really gutting. But with this game coming up now, I don't expect us to rest too many players. Of course, Pogba hasn't travelled. Anonymous football fan says, what's the fuck? He hasn't travelled for a good reason. Now, of course, if he was going to get rested, he still would have travelled with the team. But his father has passed away, so he's not travelled with the side. Zane, thank you for your comment. Paul Pogba's not in the side for a good reason, and the thoughts and best wishes are with his family. So Valencia as well has not travelled. So we're resting some key players in those two guys. Bailey can play because he's suspended for the final. So I think we need to play Herrera. We need to play Darmian. We need to play Marshall, Rashford, who Palace, yeah? It's 3 games before the final. So we can't really be going all out and playing every single player in that game against Crystal Palace. I don't know what Al Duttler's on about because he's saying United have confirmed for Lukaku. Zayn Abbas says Dimitri Mitchell to start. Sayrax, thank you for the comment. Thank you for the congratulations as well. Yeah, Dimitri Mitchell to start. I would love to see McTominay, Dimitri Mitchell, Alasunde, Joel Pereira, all these guys start, but I just can't see it happening. Can't see it happening. I think they'll be in the squad and that'll be valuable experience for them. Up the Irish, says Liam. Yes, up the Irish. Hope you guys are doing well out there. In Ireland, Spurs are still unbeaten at home. Can we end that? Can we end it? We had our unbeaten run ended last week by Arsenal, and now can we go and end theirs? It'd be beautiful, just beautiful, if we could do that. Well then, guys, this is it for today's preview. Thank you all for joining us. Remember, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share, get your comments in below. Thank you all for joining us. My predicted team: De Gea, Tuanzebe, Bailey, Jones, Darmian, Carrick, Herrera, Mata, Rooney, Marshall, Rashford. I'm going for, I think it's going to be 2-0 to Spurs. But that is blasphemous on this channel. So I'm going for 1-0 to Manchester United with Anthony Martial scoring. And as Lost But Found says, let's end their unbeaten run. Let's hope their unbeaten run is lost but not found at White Hart Lane tomorrow. Let's hope they are Spurs. Remember, as Sir Alex Ferguson once said, it's only Spurs. So come on, United. Let's get a result in this game, even if it pretty does mean absolutely fuck all in terms of the title. Or title went a long time ago. Top 4 race. Guys, I've been Adam McKola. This has been Adam McKola TV. Subscribe, like, share. Libsy says, I'm a cunt. Thank you. I am. See you later.